Okay, day 8. Um, something something that I've been noticing for myself is two things. One is I feel like I'm in the chop wood, carry water stage of this. You know, like it's like I'm really having to put something into it to keep the inspiration alive. Because what has started to happen is I started to think about it a lot more. And the more I think about it, the more judgment and criticism shows up. And, you know, this is like the stage of the game where it would be really easy to quit, where it would be really easy to say, it's not working, or it doesn't feel like the right thing to do, or, you know, whatever. And I have the commitment. The commitment is just to keep moving. And I'm probably going to reiterate this a lot. Because it's just what's there right now. Something that I've also noticed is what oftentimes would happen when I would run into that journaling. That's where I would just have to let go of the agenda and have to let go of it looking a particular way. Let go of the need for it to look good or the obsession with it looking good. And just say whatever's there. I'm the one doing the judging, not you guys. And even just like even saying that I'm talking to an audience is almost putting too much else in it, because first and foremost and primarily it's for me. Yeah, so I'm noticing that this is a lot of work. It's a lot of commitment. And I'm not even editing anything, or like, you know, I'm just shooting a video, talking, putting it up on YouTube, and that's it. And commenting, you know, people commenting, people texting me, people messaging me, it's like people are kind of coming out of the woodwork. And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate it because I appreciate the engagement. And sometimes it's a lot. Like sometimes it's a lot for me to deal with because, and I'm certainly not complaining about it. It's just, you know, like my experience is like all of that stuff comes up, you know, like, all right, you got to say the right thing. You got to do the right thing. You got to, you know, hold this person in this way. And man, I have a lot of appreciation for people that, you know, are maintaining businesses through like keeping relationships intact that way. I can see in the beginning, like it would be, you know, it's kind of difficult. Sorry, the lighting's a little weird. It's dark. Yeah, I'm outside. I also feel tired right now. Working full time, managing, um, having conversations. Uh, those are all things that required a lot of energy and attention, especially to do it with care. Um, yeah, I'm ready to just like take some autonomous time, which is great. Megan is leaving for Spirit Weaver soon. She's heading out there, I think in like a week. And she'll be gone for 10 days, so that'll give me a lot of time to just be by myself, which her and I really, is something that we really cherish in our relationship. You know, that the other person gets to go out and do, you know, what's important to them. And, you know, and that space like really provides something. It's almost like it reinvigorates like what we love about each other. Even this lighting, like I'm judging this camera lighting and whatever. So, looking forward to the space. Going to be doing a lot more journaling coming up soon. I have a feeling that it's going to be necessary, especially like given this month. I'm already noticing that there's not a lot of inspiration for like, what am I going to do for my birthday? It just kind of feels like, you know, it's just going to be a day. Nothing special. Just because of I'm just not drinking. Which is so funny because I almost messed up this morning. So I run the bar program at Cafe Gratitude in Kansas City. And I was looking at our beer and wine to check expiration dates to make sure like if bottles are open, it needs to be, it only has a certain shelf life once it's been open. And there was one that was like teetering on the day, and I went to taste it, and I was like it's just like nothing, you know, just because I mean, it's a tiny amount, it's like a tablespoon or something. And right as soon as I poured it, I was like, wait a second, like I can't, like this would be against my commitment. So I ended up having someone else taste it, but it was so funny, like how it was just right there, and it almost just like slipped by. And the cool thing about it really is that I don't have any doubt. Like it's not even something, it's just like I know what it's going to take, and I'm looking forward to that. And something that became really clear is in order to move beyond something like that, whatever it is, codependency in a relationship, you know, codependency on a device, whatever, you know, it doesn't matter. Is that there would have to be something more important to you than that. And something that became very clear for myself in a conversation that I had recently was I was talking with someone about what I'm up to and like sharing about my process of no substances for June. And they were sharing with me about a rough experience that they had while drinking recently. And it was clear to me that they felt embarrassed and ashamed of how they showed up in that experience. And it was interesting. It was interesting for me to hear that, because I could hear so much of myself inside of it. And in their voice, there was like a defensiveness, like a fear of being judged. And I just made it very clear. I said, I'm not interested in shaming you. I'm not interested in judging you, because one, I mean, who am I? Who am I to say? Like, who am I to judge you? And also, that wouldn't do any good. It wouldn't do a bit of good. And it was like there was a lot of compassion that I had for this person. And it was like, it just became completely evident that in order to move through any sort of relationship that's becoming imbalanced, you have to want, like, there has to be something that you want more than what that experience brings. And even if it's just a possibility, even if you have no idea like what it is that you really want, just that possibility alone, just the willingness to find out, that's what it would take. To say like you shouldn't do that. People, please don't ever do that. Don't ever tell people what they shouldn't do, especially if they're struggling with it, especially if they're embarrassed by it. Like, that should be textbook 101. Because guaranteed, they're already shaming themselves for it. And even inside of the well-meaning that you might be coming from, it's not going to land that way. I guarantee it. Anyone that has had this experience where it did, please let me know, because I'd like to talk to that person. Yeah. So, if you experience anything like that, if you see something that's showing up in your life that you think, maybe this is holding me back from something, or maybe I'd just like to find out what my life would be like without this for a while, because I know what this is like, like I'm habituated to this. This is familiar, and trying something new. Something that might be, who knows, more beneficial. And I want to be clear. I don't think that there's anything wrong with substances. I think that in a lot of ways they've really contributed to the evolution of the human species. And I think that there's a lot of real benefits in experiencing ourselves in altered states of consciousness. But, the perpetual use is a state of self-indulgence at best, and can be dangerous at worst. So I just wanted to say that. Um, I've passed the 15 minutes. Made it through another one. If you made it through with me, thank you again. I appreciate the support. I do hope that that it's been valuable for you in some way. Yeah, you guys have a wonderful evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.